Today we are in Brussels, and I want to take you inside the Museum of Musical Instruments to show you the Violoncello da Spalla by Johann Christian Hoffmann, from which the revival of the Violoncello da Spalla in 2003 has begun. This instrument was one of the 3 instruments to which I have had access back then. So without further ado, let's go inside and let's have a look together on this beautiful instrument. Here it is. And you might be wondering, what's the big deal about making violoncello da Spalla or any other musical instrument? All you need is a poster of that instrument or a drawing of some kind, which you can buy from the museum for €10 or so anyway. Then produce a copy and there you have it. And if that's you, I hear you and I understand why you might be thinking so, because unfortunately for about 200 years this was the normal situation in instrument making and anything classical music. Just be a replica of somebody. Why bother about finding your unique voice? But I want to share with you something I hope you will find valuable. You have probably heard the saying by a famous Belgian artist, René Magritte, who said, "What you see hides another thing. We want to see what is hidden behind what you see." And you might be arguing, well, there is nothing to see. What I see is a piece of wood shaped into a musical instrument, and that's it. And if that's you, then this video is for you, because I want to share with you what you see behind what you see. And it's a very long story. It's a whole more than 2,000 years of culture and cross-cultural influences. And I want to begin with Plato. Plato in Timaeus and Republic has shared ideas by Pythagoras, which he found very inspiring, that the demiurge, the supreme luthier, the creator of the universe, created the universe using music ratios and mathematics, and everything is harmonious, translatable into musical harmonies and intervals, and everything has a reason. And you might be wondering, well, that's 2,000 years ago, what does that have to do with anything musical instrument, violoncello da Spalla, violins? And if that's you, I want to share with you more and help you discover how all this connects. So if we go just 400 or 500 years later, you discover this gentleman called Mark Polio Vitruvius, and he wrote 10 books on architecture, and one of these books is dedicated to the laws of math and how the demiurge created the universe using musical ratios. And he adds, "These are the laws used by the skilled workmen who fashion musical instruments in bringing them to the perfection of their proper concords." Now, that book is not about violin making. This book was written with the purpose to enable contemporary to Vitruvius architects to build perfect sounding public venues, such as theaters. And you might say, well, Vitruvius lived the 1st century before Christ. That has nothing to do with Violoncello da Spalla by Johann Christian Hoffmann or violins. And I want to share with you more. I wanted to share with you sources that directly speak about exactly the same ideas as applicable to creating musical instruments and not only violins. Pablo Nassar, Escuela Musica según la práctica moderna. He writes, these are the laws used by the craftsmen who create musical instruments in order to make them sound richer. Pero guardando la proporción dicha lo hacen más sonoro. Let me repeat that. Pero guardando la proporción dicha lo hacen más sonoro. And you might be wondering, what proporción dicha? Well, those same musical proportions I have just shared with you. And the interesting thing is, you find similar ideas, not just in the Western writings, and not just the Western philosophers and thinkers and artists and mathematicians. Very similar, identical ideas are expressed by Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, Ibn Sina, and many other Islamic writings too. You find the same ideas in China and India, probably even in Persia. And this is the reason why Badiarov instruments are never replicas, and this is the reason why, in order to bring to life Violoncello da Spalla, I didn't just make a copy of this thing, but I wanted to do more, and I wanted to give to my clients this 2000 years of culture that inspired West and East. And that's what I wanted to share with you. And the question is, what is it that you encode into your work? What is there to see beneath what is on the surface? Because that, dear friend, adds depth to what you do as a musician, as an artist, as an author, as a speaker, whoever and whatever you do. And I hope that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing with you more in my next video.